Now at 10, this is Fox 61, Connecticut's news station.
Troubling living conditions in a Hartford apartment building, to say the least. And tonight, our crew is getting a first-hand look at the filth inside this complex that renters say has been going unfixed and untouched for too long. Good evening, and thanks for joining us for the Fox 61 News at 10. I'm Brent Harden.
And I'm Sarah Sanchez. Tenants at that building on Wethersfield Avenue in Hartford are calling out their landlord. They say the landlord hasn't fixed the issue, and others. And
they're making their voices heard loud and clear that something needs to be done. Fox 61's Kay Pattyfoot has more from their rally in Hartford.
Tenants living in the apartments on Wethersfield Avenue say it's a nightmare. They say they have no hot water and there's squatters living in the basement, making the building unsafe. People living in apartment building 267 on Wethersfield Avenue in Hartford say they are living in poor conditions. They rallied on Thursday evening in hopes their property owner, Arlington Management Group, LLC, does something.
I have house people living inside the building, blocking the doors. I can get in and out without having to go through them. And also being sexually harassed by them, which is, I'm in danger. I don't feel safe at all.
Ramos showed us the basement where she says squatters are calling their home. As we walked down to the basement, the stench was unbearable. In the basement, filth everywhere. A dirty needle, sewage water pulled on the floor, holes in the basement floor, and garbage piled up.
They sleep down here. So I can't even come out because I live right there. They can see me, but I can't see them. So they block me. I see they go through them or don't get out or call the cops.
Ramos says she believes 12 people are living in her apartment basement, and because of that, this sign is posted on the back door. Residents have also been living without hot water during the coldest stretch of the year.
Right now, I've been without hot water for 4 months, almost 5 at this point. Sometimes I don't even have heat in my own home.
In Hartford's 2023 budget, the City Council voted to include a tenant liaison position who would help tenants when they run into issues with their landlords. That position is still vacant.
I'm hopeful that the mayor is going to come around and name somebody. I am supposed to meet with him about having a job description, which feels like a thing we should have had months ago, but I'm not even going to say better late than never, but let's do this.
We put out phone calls to Arlington Management Group, LLC, and left a voicemail for them. We are still waiting to hear back. People living here, including Victoria Ramos, say they will continue speaking up because they shouldn't have to pay rent for poor living conditions. In Hartford, Kay Pattyfoot, Fox 61.
Thank you, Kay. Hopefully something can get done out there. All right, turning to the weather now, and after the winter weather overnight and the messy conditions this morning, would you believe we have more mess to talk about tonight?
I don't want to hear it. A lot to get to over the next couple of days. Meteorologist Deshaun Robinson joins us now with the first check of the forecast. Deshaun, what are we expecting heading into the weekend?
Hey guys, yes, from one storm to the next, this weekend will be a messy one. Light to moderate snow on Saturday, and then Sunday there is the potential for some freezing rain in the morning. However, on Valentine's Day, we are looking at a drier day, but with breezy conditions. A wind advisory is in effect for our inland areas, as there is the potential for some gusts to reach 50 miles per hour, and these gusts could cause some isolated power outages. Otherwise, Friday will be a breezy day across the state. And it's already breezy across much of the state, with stations already reporting gusts close to 30 miles per hour across much of the state. It is partly cloudy now. These partly cloudy skies will stick with us for much of the night as our temperatures fall into the mid-20s. So as you wake up for work and school tomorrow morning, we're going to wake up with temperatures in the mid-20s, and our highs will most likely top out in the lower 30s. So Valentine's Day will be a breezy one, a mix of sun and clouds for our area, temperatures generally peaking in the lower 30s. So as you head out there again, definitely keep an eye on your bouquet and flowers. Wind chill values will most likely remain in the 20s for our area, so definitely dress warm tomorrow. Coming up, I'll let you know more about this weekend's storm. Back to you.
All right, Deshaun, thank you. New tonight, it was a long day for lawmakers at the state capitol complex in Hartford, spending hours upon hours in a public hearing.
Much of the conversation centered around a bill on how libraries consider which books to share.
Fox 61's Stephen Reels sat in on the hearing and shares with us what went down.
On Thursday, an hours-long conversation here at the Legislative Office building boiled down to one question. Who should be in charge of the books children read, the librarian or their parents?
Every single time I see book bannings, like, it's a little cliche, but I think about, like, Nazi Germany.
Growing up, June Carpenter's favorite book was called Melissa. It's the story of the transgender experience through the eyes of a fourth-grade girl of the same name. Carpenter checked it out from their local library, which has now become an act others across the country have been unable to do in recent years. Since Melissa was published in 2015, the book has been repeatedly listed as one of the most challenged books in the country, due in part to its LGBTQ+ content, according to the American Library Association. Carpenter traveled to Hartford to defend the book and children's ability to read it in Connecticut like they did.
Alex Gino wanted to write it because they noticed a lack of transgender middle grade literature, and they hoped that the book would make children feel less alone. Gino achieved this goal for me. For the first time, I felt understood.
At the moment, the state's Committee on Children is weighing the future of Senate Bill 1271, which would create a working group to develop a policy for how libraries would collect and display books and how they may review whether a book is appropriate or not. This way, librarians could have added security based on their decision, according to the committee.
Because in other states, we're very aware that librarians have been harassed and beyond harassed, have been targeted. And we want to make sure that our librarians are protected, both in the school libraries and in the public libraries.
According to the bill, the groups would only include people in education and library services. And this has drawn criticism from people like Amy Chai.
And it is an act of violence to expose children to pornographic images without the child's consent and without the parents' consent.
And that's why Chai is urging lawmakers to make changes to the bill before it gets signed off.
I just hope that they consider putting some additions or changes into this bill to make it a little bit more fair to the parents.
In the end, those opposing the bill said that they wanted to see a little more clarification in the language of the bill to see what would count as expletive or not. But for now, in the Legislative Office building, Stephen Reels, Fox 61.
We have new video tonight from Windsor from the Office of the Inspector General. A police officer's off duty tonight while the investigation begins. The question is over what happened when that officer fired his gun while he was chasing a man instead of using his stun gun.
Yeah, the Office of Inspector General says that officer denied firing his weapon, but the body camera video released tonight by the Office of the Inspector General paints a different picture.
Damn, what up, y'all?
The voice you're hearing is Officer Brendan Thomas. On January 30th, he was investigating a suspicious vehicle parked in a parking lot of a Tiger Mart gas station on Windsor Avenue. The police report says the license plates on the Jeep belong to another vehicle.
This y'all, huh? This plate don't match, man. Hold on, where you going? Hold on.
This video from Thomas's body cam shows him chase after Giovanni Nunez across Windsor Avenue and into Keeney Park. As he's running, Thomas warns Nunez.
Yo, stop running, I'm gonna tase you.
But instead of grabbing his taser, the video shows Thomas running with his gun. And what happens next is important. Take a listen.
I did not mean to do that.
According to the Office of the Inspector General, Officer Thomas did not hit Nunez. For a moment, his hands are out of the camera's view. When they reappear, the video shows him holding his taser before shooting it at Nunez. While police handcuff and take Nunez into custody, he is heard asking Officer Thomas why he fired at him.
Bro, you shot at me, right? No, he didn't shoot a gun at you.
Officer Thomas is then heard on camera denying he ever fired his weapon.
Yes, this right here, this.
Taser. He shot a gun at me.
No, I didn't.
Taser. I heard a gun.
That wasn't me, bro.
He shot a gun.
How?
I heard a gun.
That's why you use this. It's coming out.
The difference between a gun and a taser.
Nunez was arrested for interfering with police in possession of a controlled substance. The Windsor Police Department says Nunez was released on bond and then turned over to Meriden Police, where he had an outstanding warrant for an assault charge. Meanwhile, Windsor's police captain says Officer Thomas is on limited duty status pending the outcome of the investigation. And we'll keep you updated once a full report is released from the Office of Inspector General.
A scary situation for passengers at Tweed New Haven Airport this morning. There was a bomb scare while an Avelo Airlines flight was boarding. The flight was boarding around 11 this morning when police say one passenger reported hearing another make some concerning comments. Police say that passenger, named 31-year-old Jarrett Tucker from Fairfield, kept making those comments. The plane was deboarded and police swept the aircraft as a precaution. Tucker was taken into custody and admitted to police that he made a, quote, stupid comment. He's been charged with breach of peace.
A disturbing arrest made in Norwalk, where a man has been charged in the death of a 4-month-old baby. 27-year-old Kyle Vignault was arrested today at his home. Officers received a call last June about a 4-month-old choking on formula. The report stated the caller gave CPR for several minutes before calling 911. That baby was taken to the hospital and later pronounced dead. Officials found the baby died from chronic malnutrition and a severe form of appendicitis. Vignault faces manslaughter, risk of injury to a child, and cruelty charges. His relationship to the baby is not clear at this point.
A person in Willimantic fell for a crypto scam and wired over $225,000 to a fake investment platform. It turned out to be an international fraud scheme, but tonight they've received $180,000 back under court order. Police say last summer the victim got a text from a stranger who claimed to be a successful cryptocurrency investor. The scammer convinced the victim to transfer money into a fake investment platform called ZegX. When they disappeared, that is, and investors recovered more than half that money.